Under cover of darkness, a collared scops owl, perched high in the trees, surveys its hunting ground for the night. Catching its mark, the owl flies back to its tree hollow nest, prey clutched tightly in its talons. This is not for him. His mate will share this meal amongst their chicks. The diet of the collared scops centers primarily on rodents, birds, lizards, and large insects. These 3 chicks are already 25 days old. Their emerging ear tufts indicate they'll soon be ready to leave the nest. Chicks will continue to be looked after and fed for 2 months after learning to fly, when they must learn to fend for themselves. Collared scops has the largest range of all Taiwan owls, predominating in mid and low elevations. With living space at a premium and more hill land developed for commercial and residential use, we have moved into long-term owl habitats and made collared scops a fixture in Taiwan's urban landscape. With an abundance of food and relative safety from the predations of its natural enemies, city life seems an ideal habitat. In fact, changes in the environment and climate have led many animals to find a foothold in the midst of humans. From large flocks of barn swallows to the Malay night herons often seen foraging in public parks. Swallows and night herons build their own nests and raise new generations side by side with humans. Collared scops owls, however, nest exclusively in tree hollows and abandoned nests. The paucity of mature trees in cities means that few hollows are available. Even with reforestation, hollows do not form in young trees. The lack of suitable places to nest directly threatens collared scops populations. In the city, collared scops occupy haphazard nests in building nooks and the gaps between corrugated metal panels. During breeding season, owl chicks that have fallen from their nests start arriving at animal shelters. From November until February, we receive a lot of collared scops chicks that have fallen from their nests. Maybe the nests just aren't stable enough, or perhaps they become detached and fall to the ground. The large number of chicks we're receiving is really taxing emergency response center and shelter capabilities. Caring for so many injured birds is a major financial and manpower burden for shelters. Installing suitable man-made nesting sites in urban areas thus became a priority. Domestic and international studies have shown the approach can indeed be effective. Beginning in 2003, the Taiwan Wildlife Conservation Society started fashioning nesting spots from recycled wood boards. They soon found, however, the dimensions were too large. The nests were difficult to hang, easily occupied by other animals, and used only infrequently by collared scops. Fourth-generation nests, while similar in height, are only 25 centimeters wide. They have the highest collared scops occupancy rate so far. Man-made nests supplement conservation efforts, giving city-dwelling collared scops owls better nesting opportunities and reducing the real risks posed by dangerous, unstable nesting sites. Most of the nests are installed along hillside orchards and in betel nut plantations. Owl researchers have recently found that city parks and the large green spaces provided by school campuses in particular are also favored haunts of the collared scops. Conservationists have thus been installing nests at city schools since 2006. For aesthetic purposes, nest boxes installed on campuses were constructed from new-cut lumber. The well-sealed boxes, however, were easily inundated with water during rains. Fortunately, retrofitted drain holes helped quickly resolve the problem. Installing nests on campus extended nesting opportunities for the collared scops, as well as interpretive education opportunities on conservation and the environment. Now in plain view, campus nests facilitate access for volunteers and curious students. October brings autumn winds and the end of summer's luxuriant foliage. Half a year distant from the spring breeding season, researchers make a surprising discovery. Breaking from the practice of most urbanized bird species, the collared scop's breeding season now starts in the fall. A male calls from the branches, marking his territory and making his presence known to females. Those ready to breed will return his call. Seeing only one owl of a pair during the mating season is a good sign the other has gone to lay her eggs.
那我等一下就会把这一个镜头伸到上面去，请朱老师帮我看一下里面的状况。OK， 好。
Observations of campus nests employ retractable poles to minimize disturbance to occupants. Observations are made monthly. The discovery of eggs makes a nest a priority observation spot. A nesting female typically lays 2 to 4 eggs, laid 1 to 2 days apart from each other. Females remain on the nest to keep the eggs warm. Free of nesting duties, males are responsible for gathering food and protecting the nest from danger. The first chick usually hatches after about 25 to 28 days in the nest, followed in succession by its siblings. This hatchling is covered in short tufts of down. Its mother will provide additional warmth when temperatures drop. Boldly exploring the confines of their nest in the warmth of day, hatchlings huddle close to mom after the sun goes down. New hatchlings are at their most vulnerable. Their eyes have yet to open, and they can swallow only the smallest prey. Eyes will slowly open over the next week. This is when black feather shafts begin to emerge and gradually displace the white down.
Owls don't lay their eggs all at once. They stagger the process, which results in staggered incubation periods. See these two? They're noticeably bigger than that other one. This one hatched on March 28th. The middle one hatched on the 30th. And the smallest hatched on April 3rd. That's a 5 to 6 day difference in total. You can see the difference in body size now, but that will gradually disappear as the mother feeds them. Different feeding regimens will almost erase the initial effects of different hatch times.
Children are also recruited to help monitor campus owl nests. They learn about conservation and that owls are wild animals, never pets to be taken home. Campus nests help bring conservation awareness and enthusiasm to a wider audience. Collared Scops nests have inspired a variety of spin-off activities. Student volunteers make rounds of the nests on campus daily to make sure nesting females aren't disturbed. Researchers check in regularly on hillside nest boxes, making careful records of the current breeding season and checking up on each owl. Work is always done quickly to keep disturbances to a minimum.
This is the oldest chick, N02171. We're now seeing a lot more tagged owls among currently nesting females. We used white to tag 2008 births, red for 2010 births. This year is black. When we see a black ring, we'll know it was born in 2011.
A camera installed by researchers outside a nest captures rare footage of a collared scops caring for her hatchlings. Findings show the hatchling diet includes geckos, beetles, thread snakes, centipedes, grasshoppers, and even bats. While they subsist on prey brought by their parents, owl chicks also make prized meals for other predators. A rat snake closes steadily on a nest box of defenseless chicks. Ready to strike, it is ambushed by protective parents. After a fierce fight, it breaks off and slithers away. Not all nests are so lucky. The nesting female in this natural tree hollow also fought desperately to repel a rat snake attack, but failed in the end to save her chicks. An extermination campaign in November poisons untold thousands of rats. While their corpses are easy pickings, they spell doom for fragile collared scops chicks. Active just hours before, chicks drop cold and lifeless. One by one, they are carried mournfully away from the nest. Growing stronger by the day, these chicks need increasing quantities of food. Mom also leaves the nest to hunt. Now able to eat on their own, food disappears almost immediately after it arrives. Increasingly curious, chicks wander the nest and peck about. Stretching their wings, they are getting ready for their first flight. While chicks in tree hollows and nest boxes are cared for by their parents, hatchlings cared for by shelters after falling from their nests need to be fed and trained for life in the wild. The Wildlife Conservation Society takes children on regular nighttime interpretive walks to enliven classroom learning and foster lasting positive experiences. Nest boxes fitted with internet cameras allow real-time monitoring online, making interpretive educational activities even more participatory. Owls swallow their food whole. Indigestible parts like bones and feathers are compacted into balls called pellets and regurgitated. Owl pellets are a frequent sight around school campuses with nest boxes. Students at Shinsha Elementary School study owl pellets as part of the regular curriculum, learning much about owl diets in the process.
The things that can't be digested are squeezed into a ball and then spat out. That's basically what a pellet is. When we put the pieces of these skull caps together, we'll be able to see the skulls of a bird and a mouse.
So this pellet is probably what's left of 4 mice. Maturing chicks face increasingly tight quarters in their nest. Soon they'll be putting their juvenile wings to the test, circling the vicinity and flying to nearby trees. On their first forays out, these novice flyers limit themselves to straight-shot flights from tree to tree. They continue to rely on their parents both for food and for protection. Birds nursed to health by the rescue shelter are trained to find their own food and then released into the wild to fend for themselves. These 2 months are critical ones for juvenile collared scops. Attrition is high, and many will not survive to adulthood. Other owls are in immediate danger, as well as the crested goshawk, one of collared scops' main natural enemies. Vehicle traffic, too, is the culprit in many owl deaths. In old growth or other natural forests, if we call to a parent and it responds, or if we make juvenile sounds like "ss, ss," and we get a response, then we return the juvenile and they'll leave together. The Taiwan Wildlife Conservation Society has long used environmental education and presentation programs to promote the importance of nest boxes and owl research in schools. The number of schools in the program has grown, and today over 50 Taiwan area schools host nest boxes. Adding boxes also maintained by city residents, Taiwan today has at least 240 nest boxes, vital nesting spots for collared scops owls and other wildlife. At the height of the mating season, a female collared scops alights on a nesting box. A rare treat for researchers, she has aluminum and red leg tags. Records show she's the same owl hatched in a nest box at Dongbian Elementary School in 2008. After 4 years, this owl, long fully grown, prepares to bring a new generation into the world 7 kilometers from her own birthplace. Whatever their benefits, nest boxes are but a temporary measure. More trees must be spared to allow collared scops to continue thriving in the wild and live in harmony with man and its surroundings.